What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am excited, you guys. It is finally the day I get to share these nice custom panels for these Cutlass, this G-body we've been working on. A lot of R&D took place, but I am excited to finally bring them to you and show you guys how to put them on. That's what this video is about. Let's get into it. Clean, fellas. I like it, man. Check that out, you guys. We've been working long and hard on this setup for the Cutlass. Now, mind you, we are definitely going to be looking into all the rest of the G-bodies, the Monte Carlos, the Grand Nationals, and things like that. So you got to hit the subscribe button to make sure you guys follow along. But this one here is particularly for the Cutlass, and I think we got it where we want it for the most part. Now, mind you, this is going to be user-friendly as much as possible. We try to make it to where it's not going to be super complex to install this thing, but it is going to require some hand tools and maybe a drill if you got it and make things easier. But not to mention, this thing is kind of, like I said, designed just to kind of clean up that engine bay, or that even that front gap that you guys have in front of the bumper there, just to kind of eliminate that and also create a better airflow over the top there for your radiator. If you guys know, that last video we did the radiator cover. As a matter of fact, sitting right there. If you guys are interested, there's a radiator cover that goes along with that. But this one here, we're gonna just install these panels on the car today. So you should get some hardware that looks just like this. You should have 6 of the M8 bolts, 2 of the M6s, along with all the washers and gaskets. And then you're gonna have 2 nuts, and then 4 spacers here. I'll show you guys how we're going to install those. And now these are Torx bit, you guys. So this is going to be a Torx. I want to say this is a 30. Yeah, the small one's a 30 and the larger one is a 45. So if you guys need to know the sizes on those bits. But let's go show you guys how this thing's going to go on the car. All right, here we got our G-body, our Cutlass, I should say. Now, it should look something like this, your guys' car. Obviously, we don't have the radiator cover on here. Now, if you do have a radiator cover, you are going to have to remove it for this install. So remove that radiator cover. Make sure you guys undo that guy there. But the first piece you're going to want to install is going to be this middle center section right here. You're going to want to install that now. You should have these 2 brackets that hold it to the bumper here. One here and one there. They should just be a 10 millimeter. So you're going to want to unscrew one side completely. We already did this guy here, right? Unscrew one side completely, and then you're going to want to take the other side completely off. You're going to have to take one side off versus, it doesn't matter left or right, in order to get this panel in. So we're going to have our panel here, and like I said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that one off real quick and show you guys how this process works. All right, now that we have that basically all loose and ready to just kind of come off, you're going to go ahead and take this guy here and you're going to slide it to the one that you actually remove only the 1 bolt at. So you're going to have that side, and it's actually going to live underneath this bracket, you guys. So you're going to slide that underneath there. If I can do this with one hand. We're going to go ahead and loosen the other one next to it. Just loosen it up a little bit just to give us a little easier access for that bracket to slide around. There we go. Now there's SSY. Don't worry about getting it correct just right yet. We gotta come back on this side and make sure it's lined up over here. Now we went ahead, like I said, you're going to remove that guy because it's really the only way to kind of get this panel set where it needs to live at. So you're going to put that bracket back over it once you have that aligned there. So we're going to go ahead and put this bracket back on, and we're just going to kind of run them down, just hand thread them. Don't tighten anything yet until you got all your covers in place. So now that we kind of have that in place, now this one here, you're going to get a replacement bolt for that. You're not going to end up using the original one there, but he should look a little something like that, just like that. And the beauty about this particular panel, if you guys do it for any reason. My favorite part is when you're working on your car, you can set your tools down, screwdriver, bolts, and you're not gonna fall through. You know how I absolutely hate that. So I really like that aspect of it. Also, you guys, don't panic if you feel like it doesn't line up perfectly. You can always kind of take a screwdriver and just kind of manipulate it a little bit. And if worse comes to worse, now every car could be a little bit different, because depending if it's an aftermarket core support, if the car's ever been hit or in an accident, it can be slightly tweaked. So if you want, you can always take that aluminum and use a drill and just ream it out just a little bit to get your screw in there, because you'll never see it. So don't be alarmed, but we should be able to get a bolt right through that, no problem. Now the next step, once you kind of have those things lined up as best as possible, you're going to take your bolt that comes in the kit there, the M6 screw. You can bring the washer along with you, and you're going to run that down and get it to where it make sure it screws in and out nicely. And if it does not, you guys, you're going to want to use a tap to clean out all these threads. So if for whatever reason you guys have like a bad thread, or you have a lot of rust, depending if you're back on the East Coast or Midwest, a lot of times you'll get these threads that just don't work very well, and it has issues with that bolt going down. So use a tap that's an M6, and the big one's an M8. So if you guys need to look that up, make sure you guys run a tap through there. But the reason why we're going to line this up now is we're going to put our panel, and we're going to tighten it in. Once we have this bolt lined up, we'll tighten the other bolts like this one and the one here, so that way we know nothing's going to move. Everything's tight. We got that one in. Panel number 1 is looking good. You guys should have something like that outcome. Now we got to take these back out. Now you guys, we're going to take these back out, but our panel should move now that the brackets are tight. But there's a reason why we're going to take this bolt out, because this bolt is actually going to hold the second panel that goes over this, along with that panel you guys just installed. So we're going to need this guy out anyways. All right, you guys, we're going to start on this side of the car. This is where it does get a little bit tricky for these panels. I'm going to show you why. Now, you got that one set. This is another reason. You see, look how it's holding up all the hardware up there, and it ain't going to fall through. But this one, you're going to take your bump stop off here, your hood adjuster, I should say. You're going to want to take this guy off to make life easier. You can put this back on, and then you're not fighting it along the way, along the install. Now, you got that one removed. You got these two bolts right here that are the tricky guys. And the reason I say this is because this actually is holding your fender to your core support. So it like I said, it'll mess with you a little bit, especially because once you pull one off, it's going to start to pull on the other one and vice versa. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your best friend here. You're just going to take a screwdriver. We're going to remove one bolt, and you're going to take a screwdriver when you go to install the other ones. This is going to be a 13 mil, I believe. That one, we already had it loose, you guys, so don't worry. Yep. As you can see already how our fender is already starting to shift. So like I said, don't be wary, but it's definitely going to happen. But there's no way around it. Now that we have those guys removed, like I said, this is where it gets tricky. You got your hardware that's provided for you. In there, you're going to find some of these guys right here, these little spacer standoffs, we call them. And you're actually going to use these in this area right here. You're going to use this in this area right here because, and there's a reason for it, is that there's a lip right here. There's like a step lip, and it sits a lot higher. So when that panel comes on here, you want to have these spacers right there. And then you're going to use your M8 bolt. Your M8 bolt should slide through there. So we're going to take our panel, place it over the top, and it's going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to be hard to do this with one hand. So you cover and you place it over the top, and this edge right here is going to slide underneath the fender. So remember that when you're installing this, you want it to live underneath the fender. So it's going to slide over like that, and then you just install it like so. Now you want to put these bolts back in first, because these are the guys that are kind of holding that core support and fender together aligned. So you want to align those before you guys mess around with the other ones. So we're going to take our fender bolt, I should say here, washer and gasket, and then M8 bolt, and then you can go in there, and if it does not, like I said, if you can't find the hole, that's what she said, make sure you guys just use that screwdriver and guide your core support or your radiator support on one side. Do one at a time versus the other. See, like right there, I can't get it to screw down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our screwdriver, stick it into the other side, the one there's nothing in there yet. See if I can make sure that washer, make sure that spacer is aligned. Just like that. Take it in there like so, and then you can take it and manipulate it one way or the other to try to get it to line up. And that's what that screwdriver is for right there. So once you get that, you kind of get it in a certain position, and see, that's got to go in smooth. Like I said, if there's any resistance, you got to find the sweet spot for that thing to go in. You don't want to have any resistance that thing going in. If you do, like I said, clean the threads out with an M8 tap. Once again, you guys, I want to remind you, do not get stressed out when you cannot get these bolts in. They just take a little finesse and working them in. But the trick is, once you got the one in here, we got this one, but you want to get this thing nice and tight, but you don't want to get it tight until you get that hole lined up straight ahead. So like I said, that's where the screwdriver comes into play. You work it, and you either, if you got to push or pull the fender one way versus the other, you do it, and then you tighten the crap out of that one there. So once you tighten that one, the second one should fall right in, and you shouldn't have much resistance. I mean, look, I should be able to, look at that, I'm be able to hand thread that thing almost all the way down. So just like that. Once you kind of, like I said, once you have the one in, take your screwdriver and straighten out that core support and line it up, and then tighten the one, and then you should be able to run the other one in there just like that with not much resistance. And then you can also triple check to make sure you're making good contact with the threads back here. Always check your gap down here at the back. If this thing's way lifted and it's way up top here, you're definitely not, that bolt is not going all the way through. So you can see, we can see the bolt going through there, just like it should look something like that there. So now we're going to move on to the front here. Same thing here, you guys. Like I said, that's why we did what we did earlier with that panel there. We tightened everything in when the bolt was already set, so we know this guy should go right in. There should be no issues with the bottom side of those brackets down below. If there's an issue with alignment, it would be up top, so that'd be the only issue you would have. But you can always take, like I said, and loosen those up a little bit if you need to. But look, this guy should screw in fairly easy. Like I said, once again, make sure you guys' threads are clean, and they should screw right in remotely easy here, fairly easy. And then don't screw that guy all the way in. We're going to take our last bolt and washer and gasket, and this will live right here, you guys. This is what the nut's for here. You have a nut, and this will hold on the back side, and you just screw that nut and bolt together. Then once that panel is all nice and set, you can tighten everything up. Now we can take it and tighten everything else back down. Like I said, you can kind of tighten it at your own leisure, however you see fit. If you like a certain fitment a certain way, you can tighten that guy. That's the wrong bolt there. Like I said, that one's going to be a T45 there. But now this guy here, this one does have the nut on the back side, so you can tighten this one as much as possible, however you want it to see flat here or not. And you're also going to have your radiator cover here. You can put your bump stop back here on, adjuster. And that's pretty much it. Once you got everything nice and tightened down, you're ready to go. Now, we do offer a few different finishes. I should say one other finish, mind you. This is the raw aluminum you guys are going to get, or you can do a satin black powder coat. We do offer that as well. If you guys want to get the raw aluminum, I see a lot of cool stuff done with the raw aluminum stuff. People polish it and it looks like chrome. I mean, it looks really good. Not to mention, you can do the raw aluminum, and if you decide to integrate your own design into it, or even obviously paint it to match your engine bay or something like that, or even powder coat it a different color, however you guys want to go about it. But not to mention, with a little help from YouTube, you guys already did that side. You see? Just like that. Looks freaking good. I'm digging it, you guys. Like I said, if anything, it just cleans up this freaking engine bay, and it helps you when you're working on your car. You can just set your tools, sit your parts down, and you don't have to worry about that stuff going down and losing it on the ground or the front end there and losing it forever. Like I said, that radiator cover, man, that thing is going to look sharp once you guys put the radiator cover on there. But I want to give you guys a quick little look on how that came out there. It looks really freaking good, you guys. I am digging it. But make sure you guys hit the website up if you guys are interested in this product. As a matter of fact, let's grab the radiator cover so you can kind of see what that looks like. So this radiator cover, you guys, it is designed around the Griffin radiator, the LS Griffin radiator. It fits like a glove, let me tell you. Just like that. Look at that. Look how sharp that looks, how good that looks tied in with that whole front end there. Obviously, we don't have anything bolted down, but you'll have the same style bolts, the M6s with the washers, and that'll bolt down just like that. But man, that looks freaking sharp. I'm digging it. But guys, do me a favor, man. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell for notifications. And let me know what you guys think. Put it down in the comments below. And you guys already know, stay wrenching.